What's going on, my Century Unit? It's the Centuryman here, so back again with another classic WrestleMania pay-per-view review. I'm going to review one more classic WrestleMania show of the month, so I did a voting poll on my community tab with 59% of the vote, and the winner is WrestleMania 26. Second place is Mania 30 with 23 votes. Third place is Mania 25 with 14 votes. Fourth place is Mania 33 with 5% of the vote. And last place is WrestleMania 23 with 0 votes. Anyway, so WrestleMania 26. So this show was at the University of Phoenix Stadium. Right now it's called the State Farm Stadium in Glendale, Arizona. Glendale, I'm guessing it's outside Phoenix, so you can call it Phoenix. This show was on the 28th of March 2010. The attendance of the show was 72,219. Mania 26 received about 885,000 pay-per-view buys. A bit downgrade than the previous year's WrestleMania. That's WrestleMania 25. Mania 25 received about 975,000 pay-per-view buys. Knowing that the next three WrestleManias between 27 to 29 will hit that million buy rate mark because of The Rock. You know, he was the host of Mania 27, and then Mania 28 and 29 is the whole John Cena Rock trilogy. You know, they did good business in that time period, you know. But you could tell, like, the buy rates for WrestleManias 25 and 26, they're okay. You know, I'm not saying that, you know, because 25 was a bit better than 26. I'm talking about the buy rates because of it's the 25th WrestleMania, you know. But this WrestleMania, this is known for, like, for one, the WrestleMania rematch between Shawn Michaels and The Undertaker. Shawn's Swan Song, I'll get to more of that later on. This is the first WrestleMania held in the state of Arizona. It's the one only WrestleMania in the state of Arizona, and also this is Bret's first match in the company since WrestleMania 13 back in 1997. Anyway, so yeah, that's three things I just mentioned. You know, Undertaker Shawn 2 at WrestleMania, Bret's first match in 13 years, and yeah, and the one and only WrestleMania in the state of Arizona. Quick result in the dark match. Oh, by the way, the commentators for WrestleMania 26, we got Michael Cole, Jerry the King Lawler, and Matt Striker. The three-man commentary team, bit skeptical why they have to do a three-man commentary team. It worked back in the 90s with Vince, JR, and The King, but I think it didn't work right now. Not right now, but back then. It's never going to work, you know. I think they've gone back to the two-man commentating team. Doing a three-man commentating team is just never going to work because you're going to have the right people in the position. But that's another story for another time that I want to talk about in this video. Anyway, quick result in the dark match. So, you had Yoshitatsu won a 26-man battle royal. And you got you got the Hart Dynasty, Crime Time. Last time they are teaming up together before they get the breakup the following month at Extreme Rules. Slam Master J, that is the former Jesse, who's part of Jesse and Festus. Luke Gallows, who represent the Straight Society, that's CM Punk's group. Chavo Guerrero, Great Khali, Kung Fu Naki, that's Funaki by the way, Goldust, William Regal, Tyler X, Santino Marella, Jimmy Wang Yang, Vance Archer, Carlito. I don't know if they were part of a tag team at the time, Primo and Carlito, or just recently broke up. I think they broke up after losing the unified tag team titles. And you had Finlay, Mike Knox, and like I said, Yoshitatsu and Zack Ryder. Anyway, so the first match to kick off Mania 26. This match is the openers for the Unified WWE Tag Team Championships. We've got the Showmiz, The Miz and The Big Show defending the belts against John Morrison and R-Truth. They won the belts, I think it was the previous, is it the previous month? I think it's around February, March time. This is technically after the Elimination Chamber. You know, you had, I think it was a triple threat match, you know, or one-on-one match between, you know, because DX were the tag team champions at the time. You know, Shawn Michaels and Triple H. I think it was it could be a three-way, I'm not too sure, but I think it was a one-on-one, can't remember, but anyway, so, you know, Miz and Show won the belts, because Big Show was previously in another tag team, Jericho with Chris Jericho. Because DX beat Jericho for the tag team titles at the first TLC pay-per-view in December, and afterwards they broke off. You know, Jericho ended up becoming pushed into that main event scene on SmackDown, won the World Heavyweight Championship at Elimination Chamber in February. So Big Show was kind of like in limbo for a time bit. So he's once again in another tag team with The Miz, who is also not doing anything. You know, he was the United States Champion, by the way, I forgot to mention this. He's entered this match as the United States Champion. So, I'm guessing The Miz was kind of like a substitute for Chris Jericho. Show Miz. I think it's a play on words of showbiz, but Show Miz. It's kind of clever, but the theme music, the hybrid theme music kind of sucked, you know. It's like, it's just theme music with spliced with, the Big Show. Like, I like Jericho's theme music. That is way better. It's like, well, break the walls down. That was really good. But this is just kind of like a downgrade for me. So, anyway, yeah, trying to get my words out. So, Miz and R-Truth, not Miz and R-Truth, John Morrison and R-Truth. They're kind of thrown together in the last minute, you know. Forgot to mention this. Miz and John Morrison were in a tag team as well, like the Big Show. Big Show was part of Jericho with Chris Jericho. John Morrison was in the tag team with Miz and Morrison. They kind of, you had Miz turn on John Morrison, broke up the tag team via the draft. You know, I think they were in SmackDown / ECW. Miz went on to Raw, went on doing well in the mid card, winning the United States title. John Morrison was on SmackDown, briefly was the Intercontinental Champion, but I think he lost the belts to Drew McIntyre in late 2009. So he's now in a tag team with R-Truth. That was kind of like head cheese booking, man. Head cheese booking, you know. Like, look it up, you know, because of Head Cheese, the team of Al Snow and Steve Blackman. Two guys with random gimmicks, pairing up for whatever reason. Anyway, the match was just kind of like, nah. I think it was just, I think it's a bit dull. It wasn't a terrible match, but it wasn't great. You know, it was just like very rushed. No, you know, not really fleshed out. It was just getting the big moves. You know, you had Big Show kind of swatted Morrison off the ring apron with his hand like a fly swatter. And then I think Morrison got his own back on the Big Show with his Igiri kick, you know. Morrison was going for Starship Pain onto the Miz. Big Show pulled him out. In the end, Big Show knocked out John Morrison with the knockout punch. Miz pinned him. I think it was John Morrison or R-Truth. It's vice versa. So yeah, Show Miz retained the Unified Tag Team Championships on this show, and that was it. And it's really funny. I mentioned the Hart Dynasty. They compete in the Battle Royal on a dark match before the show was aired. I wish they'd done a triple threat match. It might accomplish something bit better, but yeah, it's their first pay-per-view match as a tag team for Show Miz, but that was the beginning. It's the only pay-per-view match for Miz and Big Show as a tag team, so not too long after this, Miz and Big Show, the Show Miz end up losing the Unified Tag Team Championships to the Hart Dynasty. That's Tyson Kidd and D.H. Smith. And, Big Show end up get drafted to SmackDown, break up the tag team in the process. And that was it. Miz Miz and Truth went on to have a short feud over the United States Championship. I think it had one pay-per-view match. I think Truth won the belt, and then Miz won the belt back the next night on Raw. It was very forgettable, of the history between R-Truth and the Miz. It's funny, in our current timeline, they were now the Will Tag Team Champions in our current timeline. They're no longer the Raw Tag Team Champions. They are now the Will Tag Team Champions in our current timeline. Knowing that, back in 2010, they were feuding over the tag team titles, the United States title, and then they end up teaming up in 2011, feuding with John Cena and The Rock, and then years later, are the tag team champions, knowing that, they end up feuding and teaming up together. And also, trying to say, it's funny with the Miz, man, because this WrestleMania, Mania 26, he opens a WrestleMania, knowing that the following year at Mania 27, he ended up main eventing and close out WrestleMania 27 as WWE Champion, knowing Miz, 2010 was the Miz's year, winning Money in the Bank briefcase that summer and winning the WWE Championship at the end of the year. So let's move on to the next match. Because the opener was just not terrible, but it's just basically sizzle but no steak. It's rushed. The fans do not care. I feel like it was a match at the last minute with no build. Let's move on to the next match. So the next match, we got the Legacy Triple Threat match. Randy Orton taking on Cody Rhodes and Ted DiBiase Jr. So Legacy. So Legacy was formed the previous year in 2009. It was Orton was in the previous faction as Evolution in the Ruthless Aggression era, and then years later he's formed his own group known as Legacy. It was kind of like a based on generation wrestlers, the dads and the granddads of those wrestlers. Randy Orton is the son of Cowboy Bob Orton, the grandson of Bob Orton Sr. Cody is the son of the American Dream, Dusty Rhodes, and Ted DiBiase Jr. is the son of the $1 Million Man, Ted DiBiase Sr. They used to have Sin Snuka, who's the son of Superfly Jimmy Snuka. Manu, I think he's related to the Wild Samoans, I think. They kicked Sin Snuka and Manu out of the group. Now the group is a trio. They kind of dominate the Raw brand in throughout 2009. Feuding with Triple H and Randy Orton, John Cena, and Kofi Kingston. They kind of had that. They had this kind of, but I think they were bust heads. I had that not on the same page. They kind of got on the same page, but it was a bit. 2010 was the beginning of the end of the Legacy faction. It happened at the Royal Rumble. Cody Rhodes cost Randy Orton the WWE Championship against Sheamus, and then 1 month later it was DiBiase who cost Orton the championship. I think he got himself eliminated in the Raw Elimination Chamber match in February. So, and then lead up to Randy Orton turning on Rhodes and DiBiase. So, and also they kind of predict the future, because this rivalry was also based on the SmackDown vs. Raw 2010 video game. It was the Road to WrestleMania storyline with Orton forming Legacy, and then Legacy turned on Orton. They kind of predict it. And this is the one and only time that... This is basically a glorified handicap match, but this is a one and only time that this is a triple threat match with no championships, or not a no one contender for a championship. So it's just a triple threat match for nothing. Nothing's on the line. It's just this will revolve around 3 members of Legacy, even though Legacy, Rose and DiBiase. This is generally a handicap match, but anyway, with Cody, man, in this match, Cody looks jacked, man. He looks big. He lifts weights, man. Cody, he's always been skinny. In his first run in the company. The one thing, they'll probably get taking the piss off of his legs. He always has skinny legs every time he's wearing trunks, you know. Compared right now, he's wearing like tights, but back in his first run in the company, before the Stardust gimmick, he's always wears trunks, you know. It's like, oh my god, the guy never, like, he's a guy who never squat before. But anyway, so this match was okay. I think it's, you know, I wish this match gone on first than the Unified Tag Team title match. But anyway, it was an okay match. You know, it's more like a handicap match, you know. In the first half of this match, you know, Rose and DiBiase gang up on Orton. And then all of a sudden, like, you know, they broke up. Yeah, they kind of broke up, you know. With, I feel like one more of the match, you know, DiBiase trying to pin Orton. Rhodes broke up the pin. And then when Rhodes, I think, yeah, Rhodes pin, Rhodes pins, trying to pin Orton. DiBiase broke the hold. Or, no, I think it was DiBiase first trying to pin Orton. Rhodes broke up the pin, and then vice versa. Rhodes trying to pin Orton. DiBiase broke the pin, and then Rhodes and DiBiase kind of broke up. They kind of like argue, and then they start fighting. Totally against the story. I try to keep it short and simple, folks. You know, I think they hit like Orton hit like the double like DDT onto the middle rope onto Rhodes and DiBiase. Orton hit Rhodes with the punt kick. And then DiBiase was going for like the $1 Million Dream. Orton counted into the RKO for the win. And that was it. You know, this was Orton's first pay-per-view match as a babyface for years, you know. He was a heel for the last 5 years, you know, ever since he feud with The Undertaker at WrestleMania 21. Yeah, I think it's for the best, man. I think he's done everything could as a heel. Now, like, let's see, I think a good facing for Orton was the right step, you know. Even though, like, I think people want to see the legacy guys, Rose and DiBiase, as baby faces, but now they are the heels, you know. But Orton wins I think that was the right call, you know. It's a sad for DiBiase, man, because he never had that, but he never reached the potential as a main event player. Like, after this, you know, he ended up, like, trying to be the carbon copy of his dad, you know, give him the $1 Million Championship, have Maurice as his valet, briefly with Virgil, who's just recently passed away in our current timeline, rest in peace, Virgil, and, you know, he kind of reunite with Cody Rhodes, and then, yeah, he turned babyface, you know, doing the whole DiBiase posse, that never went anywhere. And he was gone. You know, he's not just left the company. He ended up leaving wrestling altogether. I think he did briefly came back in the indie scene, but yeah, I don't, you know, because like 2010 was a bit, you know, this night was big for DiBiase because he just like the night before this, you know, he inducted his dad into the WWE Hall of Fame. But yeah, for DiBiase, he never reached the potential. I think it's just like what it is, man. Like, if Orton lost on this show, it won't hurt him, because at the time Orton was an established star, but I think Rose and DiBiase needed the win, but it's just what it is, man. But yeah, DiBiase never again after this, and, you know, I think this is the one and only WrestleMania match for Ted DiBiase, man. He never had another WrestleMania match ever since, before he got released in, 2013? Anyway, I think Cody done much better for himself after Legacy, you know. It's really funny right now. He's now the face of the company. He's just finished his stories. I call him. I think he's the undisputed Universal Champion, the WWE Undisputed Universal Champion. You know, they're gonna get rid of that undisputed name and just call it the WWE Championship. They should have called it the WWE Championship when they decided to bring back the World Title Belt. But anyway, so it's funny, like, right now he's the face of the company right now in 2024 compared back in 2010. Like I said, Cody done better for himself, you know, in his first run in the company. After that, he ended up like teaming up with Drew McIntyre, winning the Tag Team Championships, the big penny belts, you know. He was dashing Cody Rhodes, then he was undashing Cody Rhodes. He had a good run and then he's just plain old Cody Rhodes, you know, he had a good run as Intercontinental Champion. He brought back the old IC title belt, you know, the white belt, and then you know, he was part of the tag team with Damien Sandow, Team Rhodes Scholars. He had the mustache, and then in the final years in his first run in the company, he was Stardust. You know, despite that was a polarizing gimmick, you know, he's just mimicking his brother's gimmick at the time. But he kind of made it work, you know. And then he went on to done well outside of WWE, you know. He had a brief run in TNA/Impact Wrestling. He had a good run in New Japan and ROH. You know, he was ROH World Champion, and he was the NWA World Champion. He played a massive part of the success of trying to get my words out. The success of AEW. You know, a multiple-time TNT champion, and now he's back in the company. And what's he done? Won the world title. You know, he had good feuds with Seth Rollins and Cody Rhodes. Not Cody Rhodes. Get my words out. Roman Reigns, and he feuded with Nakamura. He feuded with I think he had a brief feud with the Judgment Day. So yeah, Cody's done well in this second. He done much for himself after his run with Legacy. It kind of gave much more of character development after this. So anyway, this match was okay. You know, after Orton went on to get back into the WWE title picture later on in the year, winning the WWE title in the autumn of 2010. So let's move on to the next match. So the next match, we got the Money in the Bank ladder match, the sixth and final Money in the Bank ladder match. You know, it's the final time that the Money in the Bank ladder match held at WrestleMania, because later that year they end up turning Money in the Bank as a pay-per-view. They've been doing it ever since, you know. I think there were plans to get rid of Money in the Bank, you know, that's another story for another time. Anyway, the contenders of Money in the Bank 6, we got Christian, Jack Swagger, currently as Jake Hager in AEW, Dolph Ziggler, who's currently now his real name, Nick Nemeth, Drew McIntyre, Evan Bourne, Kane, Kofi Kingston, Matt Hardy, MVP, and Shelton Benjamin. You can find it, this is the last WrestleManias for a few years for MVP, Matt Hardy, and Shelton Benjamin. Evan Bourne, I think this is his one and only WrestleMania match. Anyway, but yeah, it didn't really state like it didn't really outstay its welcome. It was 30 minutes long. It was fun. Like Evan Bourne did like a move. He did like the airborne onto those vertical ladders, you know, on the middle ropes. He hit I think he hit one of the competitors with the airborne, and it's really a shame. Airborne's underrated. Now, yeah, he's calling now is Matt Sydal, by the way. He, you know, they never done much after this. You know, yeah, he got hurt and got suspended. That could be the reason. But anyway, he hit one. Who I think it's MVP. I can't remember. It's been a few days since I watched Mania 26. You know, he hit one of the competitors with the airborne. Yeah. Drew McIntyre, by the way, is handpicked by Vince McMahon. You know, he won. He lost multiple qualifying matches for Money in the Bank. He managed to win one. He entered this match as the Intercontinental Champion. He ended up dropping the belt later on in the year. I think this they kind of push him in his first run in the company, and then they stopped it because of the situation with Tiffany/Taryn Terrell. It's funny right now, you know, he's a main event player. You know, in his second/current run in the company, multiple time world champion. You know, compare back in 2010, he was kind of like not really finding an audience, not really like connecting to the fans. Anyway, he got a lot of heat. You know, I think he got beaten up by the other competitors in this ladder match. You know, the fun spot, it has to be Kofi Kingston. You know, like Kane ripped the short ladder, and Kofi kind of climbed the ladder like stilts, you know, pogo stilts. You know, that was really good. You know, people not like Cody for his spots at the Royal Rumble, like the near eliminations, but this was kind of fun. Shelton Benjamin didn't do much in this Money in the Bank ladder match. You know, there's too many bodies in this match. You know, because Shelton, you know, always shines in these matches, but this time not so much. Swagger, you know, got sandwiched into those two ladders in the middle of the ropes and placed into the tallest ladder, you know, below the briefcase is towards the direction of the briefcase, you know. Anyway, you know, I think the odds-on favorites of this Money in the Bank ladder match is Christian, but Kane is the dark horse in this match, you know. Anyway, so you had the fight between Matt Hardy and Christian. Because they are the masters of ladder matches. Because it's been 10 years since TLC, the first TLC match. Back in the year 2000. Actually, it's 10 years since the Triangle Ladder match at WrestleMania 16. Hardy and Christian had history with these matches. I think Christian hit. Matt was going for I think it was the side effect or the twist of fate, but he countered it into the inverted DDT. Swagger, climb up to the ladder, hit Christian with the Money in the Bank briefcase, and received the briefcase, and Jack Swagger won this ladder match, and he's now Mr. Money in the Bank holder. We'll get to more Swagger later on when they cover the World Title match. I think the wrong person gone over. I think Swagger was not quite there yet because he wasn't doing anything. Feel sorry for Swagger, man. I'll get to more. Like I said, I'll get to more of that later on. But besides, this ladder match was fun. Didn't outstay its welcome. Bit weak compared to the other ladder matches in the past. Like I said, last Money in the Bank ladder match at WrestleMania before the dawning of the Money in the Bank pay-per-views. It became one of the most beloved pay-per-views. It became one of the. It kind of replaced the King of the Ring time slot. As the fifth biggest pay-per-view of the year for WWE. So. Let's move on to the next match. The next match we got Sheamus taking on Triple H. In December, Sheamus beat John Cena in a tables match for the WWE Championship at TLC. Then 2 months later, at Elimination Chamber, he lost the WWE Championship to Cena. He got eliminated. I think he got eliminated. In the chamber match by Triple H. He kind of blamed Triple H, for costing him the WWE title. So I think for weeks now, you had Sheamus attacking Triple H, hitting him with the big boot. It wasn't ill. It's aka the bro kick. They wouldn't really call it the bro kick at the time, just the big boot. In this video package, you kind of remind Sheamus as himself. They splice the footage of Triple H getting squashed by the Ultimate Warrior at WrestleMania 12. Say I used to be like you. Before I'm gonna face the biggest dog in the yard. You kind of say I'm working myself up to be the game, something like that. So anyway, I'm not gonna go into Sheamus' career, man. They really misuse Sheamus a lot, man. For this, and he ended up squashing. I'm talking about his first few years in the company. The fluke WWE title reign, the forgettable title reign of his first title reign for Sheamus. He ended up and also 2 years later squashing Daniel Bryan in 18 seconds at the opener of WrestleMania 28. So I don't want to get into that more. So this match was Sheamus' first WrestleMania match, first of many. I think it's the first of 8. He missed few due to injury. I don't want to get into that, but anyway, so Triple H's theme music was a bit. His entrance was a bit stripped down a bit. It was a bit, it's just basically his theme music with a bit of pyro. With Triple H's entrance over the next few years, it's revolved around like Skull Kings, Terminator, driving on motorcycle pads, something like that, But this match is very underrated, man. I think it was a good match. I really enjoy it. It started a little bit boring. It kind of picked up some speed. It kind of pick up some steam. I'm trying to say. Anyway, so I feel like he hit multiple. Sheamus hit multiple. It's methodical. Sheamus hits Triple H with the multiple Irish curse backbreakers. Triple H teasing the pedigree onto Sheamus attempt. Sheamus counted out the pedigree attempt. I think he counted out Sheamus as the high cross. That's the racer's edge. Anyway, I'm trying to keep it short and simple. Sheamus hit the big boot or the bro kick onto Triple H. Triple H kicked out. And then he hit another one on the ring apron. Triple H just laying on the top rope, and then Sheamus hit the big boot again, the bro kick. And then he was playing Parson, he's trying to get back in the ring, and suddenly Triple H hit the pedigree, and that was it. I think it was a bit... I feel like it was a bit rushed a lot in my opinion, this match went about 12 minutes. Like, some matches, they're good, but some matches had, like, rush finishes, Yeah, I get it. They don't want to outstay its welcome, but I feel they should have added about another 2 minutes. But anyway, Triple H winning this match, it's debate. I don't want to get into it, but it was a good match, not a great match. I think it's a very underrated match, For Sheamus, his career's in reverse, I think they, like, with guys like, I think they're pushing guys, you gotta be a fucking idiot. You push new talent because you got guys like Triple H and Shawn, Taker, they're kind of like, and Batista, they're kind of like heading out the company, retiring or wrestling part-time. They're building guys, you got guys like Sheamus and Jack Swagger going to get pushed. Like, they're not really, haven't earned their stripes. With Sheamus, I feel like he got thrust into this main event spot very too soon. Winning the WWE Championship at TLC, and then his reign was a bit flopped. His match against Orton the following month at the Rumble was crap. Now and then he's just like he went on to win the WWE title again in June in the Fatal 4-Way match at Fatal 4-Way. His second run as WWE Champion was flopped. He went on to become a multiple-time world champion, become win the world title 2 years later in 2012. Like I said, squashing Daniel Bryan in the opener in 18 seconds at Mania 28. Then his very forgettable run in 2015 when he was Money in the Bank holder, and also as his third run as WWE Champion. That's lasts about a month. Sheamus had a mixed bag of a run in his only run in the company. He was King of the Ring champion or King of the Ring winner of 2010. He never caught any steam, never caught fire. It's funny right now. Sheamus had starting to earn his stripes. He had some good matches over the years, but they're kind of some of them are not so memorable. People talk about his match with Gunther at Clash of the Castle in 2022. Sheamus' his only good WrestleMania match was last year in the triple threat match between him, Drew, and Gunther over the Intercontinental title. His WrestleMania matches over the years, they end up being like I said, a bit mediocre. I think this is an underrated match. Squashing Bryan at 28. An underwhelming opener against teaming up with Orton and the Big Show against the Shield at 29. It's just I don't want to get into it. So, they had a rematch the following month at Extreme Rules. Sheamus beat Triple H and also write him off. I think there's rumors back in the day he was trying to pursue a career in acting. There's rumors he's linked to becoming Thor. But that's never going to happen. It's funny, in Ultimate Timeline, what if Triple H became Thor in that film in 2011 instead of Chris Hemsworth? To be honest, Triple H could be a good Thor. He looks like a Viking. He's long hair, beard. It looks like he got that Viking look. But yeah, but he ended up this is his final year as an on-screen, not on-screen, but an in-ring competitor, but end up wrestling occasionally. But yeah, I think he was nearly 40 at the time. I think a light schedule for him was the right call. Like I said, fight against Sheamus at Extreme Rules and never fought ever again. It's for the best, man. So let's move on to the next match. So the next match, we've got Rey Mysterio taking on CM Punk, the leader of the Straight Society, with Luke Gallows and Serena in the corner of CM Punk. So if Punk loses this match, if Rey loses this match, he will join the Straight Society. This is revolved around a segment on SmackDown, revolved around Rey and his family with his wife Angie. He had Dominic Mysterio as a kid. He had Alea. Celebrate Alea's birthday. And also Rey beat Punk in a Money in the Bank No, I think he beat Punk. Cost Punk a Money. I think he beat Punk on SmackDown. Cost Punk a chance to compete in the Money in the Bank ladder match. And then we got the segment on SmackDown. Rey and his family with Angie, with Dominic, with Alea. He had CM Punk. He's doing his gimmick right now, the Straight Society. He's a combo of Jesus Christ and Charles Manson with the long bushy hair, and he's got chest hair. You know, he came out really intimidate Ray, not just Ray, but his family, including Elia, who's about a kid at the time, singing "Happy Birthday." You know, the video package, the build up to this match on the show was wow. They made Punk into a monster. You know, like lowering his voice like a monster voice, saying "Happy Birthday to you." That's really wow. Like, really hyping, making Punk like a monster, you know. He did, like, his promo, saying, like, you know, Ray, you treat Ray like a superhero, you know. Like, you know, he said, I'm not a monster, you know. This match, man, it's good. I think it was a good match, you know. Punk came out wearing the G.I. Joe. It's basically a custom-made G.I. Joe trunks with the camouflage, with the G.I. Joe symbol. Ray came out, dressed up like the character from Avatar, because at the time the first Avatar film just came out. Don't know when the second film just came out. I don't know when it came out. I lost count, but anyway. So yeah, this match was really good. You know, like Punk kind of countered Ray's like repertoire, his high flying moves. You know, I think he did like a spot, like he did like I think it was a springboard DDT, but it was a bit botchy. Like, it was a bit, it looked bad, you know, but, you know, it's just like, it was a reverse springboard DDT, anyway. Serena got involved. She didn't really hurt this match, you know, like choking Ray while he's in that tree of blow position, you know, and then when Ray was going for the 619, she kind of protect Punk, you know. I think they missed the ball on Serena, man. I think she's a good worker. They kind of brought her in as a valet, you know, but she came back years later as a coach, and yeah, she competed in the Million Classic, but not an in-ring competitor. It's funny, like years later, she ended up becoming the NWA World Champion, and also, you know, I think she just like almost lost her life. She had an illness that's is life-threatening. I'm not too sure about this, so. Anyway, so it was a fun match, you know. In the end, you know, like Ray kind of hit Punk with a Hurricane Runner, Ray Punk in, like onto Luke Gallows. He's trying to interfere. Kind of knocked Gallows off the ring apron, hit the 619, hit the springboard dive for the win, and that was it. I feel like, yeah, like I said, rush finish, but I think it's designed to not really outstay its welcome. And this is CM Punk's first singles one-on-one match, because the last 3 WrestleManias between 23 to 25 is in the Money in the Bank ladder match. He won 2 Money in the Bank ladder matches of 24 and 25. This is his first singles match. You know, he went on to have 3 or 4 times more until he walked out of the company in 2014. So they continued this rivalry between CM Punk and Rey Mysterio in the next few months. You know, they had a match at Extreme Rules that, you know, if CM Punk loses the next match, he'll get his head shaved bald. Punk got his win back, you know, at Extreme Rules. And in that rivalry, we saw the return of Joey Mercury in that group, because I think he said in an interview in that CM Punk documentary that Punk bought in his house, he kind of buy Mercury a house because he was living rough or something. I'm not too sure, but anyway, so. And then at Over the Limit, they had the rubber match. You know, if Ray lose, he'll have to join the Straight Society. If Punk lose, he get his head shaved bald. Punk get his head shaved bald at Over the Limit, and then he ended up wearing the custom mask. You know. I wish they'd do more of the Straight Society, you know, and then after that they dropped the ball on that group. You know, they end up breaking up. And yeah, they can't really do it right now because we're in this sensitive era. It's PC, we're in the cancel culture, but when Punk doing it in 2010 was good, you know, like bragging about his straight edge, you know, he doesn't drink, doesn't do drugs, doesn't smoke, you know, and it's kind of cult culture. But it kind of worked at the time, but it's a shame it's never last long, because yeah, they're more focused on they got replaced by the other top faction of the Nexus, so it's just what it is. So yeah, I think it was a good match, you know. Anyway, let's move on to the next match. So the next match, we got Bret Hart taking on Mr. McMahon. This is a no holds barred lumberjack match with Bruce Hart as a special guest referee. Bret Hart, his final appearance with the company was at Survivor Series of 1997. You know the story. In the match against Shawn Michaels for the World Wrestling Federation Championship, Shawn won the belt via the sharpshooter. He put Bret with his own submission hold, and then Vince did the ring the fucking bell. Shawn won the title. Bret, that was Bret's swan song before going to WCW. You had Bret spin at Vince, and that was it. So it was, anyway. So, trying to get my words out. Big night for Bret because the previous night, like Ted DiBiase Jr., Bret inducted his dad Stu into the Hall of Fame. It was a good call. This was Bret Hart's first match in the company for 13 years, since his first WrestleMania match since WrestleMania 13 back in 1997 against Steve Austin. One of the best matches in Bret's career. It was Bret made his return to the company. On the first Raw of 2010, they were competing with TNA. On that same night for TNA, he had the debut of Hulk Hogan. I think it was like 12 years since Bret Hart appeared on WWE programming. And it's been, I think it's 5 years since Bret and Vince kind of publicly buried the hatchet. And then in 2006, Bret got inducted into the WWE Hall of Fame. So anyway, Bret kind of completely buried the hatchet with Shawn Michaels, put their rivalry aside. Vince, I said it like seconds ago. In real life they kind of they patch things up, but in kayfabe, they didn't. He didn't. He basically Bret and Vince shake. Vince kicked Bret in the balls. Bret, the next week kind of challenged Vince to a match at WrestleMania. He kind of challenged Bret, challenged Vince to a match, Vince said no, you deserve to get screwed. Then he said say goodbye to the fans, Bret kind of faked the leg injury, and then all of a sudden Vince challenged Bret to a match at WrestleMania. Bret said no, I got a broken leg, and Vince kind of kicked the crutch off the hands of Bret Hart. They had the contract signing, and then Bret just basically tell Vince, the whole stuff with getting his leg broken via a limo car accident was a ruse. It's very rare for Bret doing that. He did it in WCW. He got speared by Goldberg, but he's wearing a big metal plate. Anyway, so he said if you back down, he'll sue the company or sue Vince. But anyway, so this match sucked. You thought it was a no holds barred match, but instead Vince said he says he bought lumberjack. It's Bret's family. His brothers and sisters, his brothers-in-laws. The only person wasn't there was Jim the Anvil Neidhart. I think probably at the time, I think he kind of left on very bad terms, and never patched things up before Jim kind of passed away in 2018. So and all of a sudden it was another ruse, the Hart family took the money by Vince, and this match just. I wish they'd just done a no-holds barred match. You could accomplish something. You could accomplish. Try to get my words out. Jesus Christ, accomplish one thing, but instead it's just a glorified lumberjack match. Sometimes lumberjack matches are just shit, man. It's boring, not exciting. You had the Hart family members, having the moments at Vince. You had Natalia slapping Vince. D.H. Smith and Tyson Kidd hit the heart attack onto Vince. It's just basically just Bret beating the fuck out of Vince, this has got to be Bret's worst match at WrestleMania. Him and his two worst matches was against this match against Vince at 26 and his match against Bob Backlund at Mania 11, compared to his last WrestleMania match over 13 years ago against Steve Austin was an all-time classic. And it it's just basically Brett being Vince for, I think it's about 12 minutes, and I check it, 11 minutes. It was 11 minutes long. I was completely bored. Like, yeah, Brett teasing the shooter attempt on Vince, hit Vince with the chair. It looked like him on his ass, Like, and then, yeah, Vince, it's funny, like, in Vince's matches, before his match against Brett, his match against Shane at Mania 17, his match against Hulk Hogan at Mania 19, his match against Shawn Michaels at Mania 22, Vince always pull up his dukes. He pull up a fight. In this match, he just didn't do anything, Like, he just, let Brett beat the fuck out of him. This should be a squash match anyway, so in the end, Brett managed to lock in the sharpshooter on Vince. Vince did a weak tap, and that was it. Brett kind of scratched the 13-year itch, because it was popular to do this at WrestleMania, but, this was the end of Vince's, character, because it's the end of the Mr. McMahon character as we know it. Vince's character on screen for the last 12, 13 years, that like he's like the spectacle, maniacal authority figure, occasionally wrestling. Like, after that, he's on air screen completely severely diminished after that. He had one more match after this, would be 2 years later against CM Punk, that went absolutely nowhere. That was like an Improv 2 match. His last real match was 12 years later at Mania 38 against Pat McAfee. That was way worse. Vince's two worst matches in his career was against this match against Brett at 26, and his match against Pat McAfee at 38. Vince was way past his best at 38. He was in his 70s, man. His muscles are completely shrunk. But I think, like, having Brett scratch that 30 years itch was the right thing. He's the one to slay the dragon, slay the beast. Was the right thing, because the Mr. McMahon character came out from the ashes from the Montreal Screwjob. It's kind of like, you got to be fair. I think Vince completely missed Brett. Because Brett completely was on very bad terms with the company, because for one, like, trying to take the title from to WCW in 1997, and then he was part of the competition trying to put Vince out of business. But I think Vince treat Brett like a father figure, because in that time period, I'm gonna say right now, I think without Brett right now, being the top guy, I think this company will go out of business. They had financial problems in the 90s. He's kind of like in the middle of the road between the Hulkamania era of the 80s into the early 90s, and into the Attitude era in the late 90s. In that middle period known as the New Gem era, he's the top guy in the company. Without him, I don't think there will be an Attitude era with Bret Hart. I think he planted the seeds of the Attitude era. The stuff with the Hart Foundation, USA versus Canada storyline in 1997. Like, kind of blur out why it's reality, why it's kayfabe. With, if they never pulled the trigger. But I think, like, they kind of patch things up, and they kind of acknowledge. It's funny, like, in 2010, they're kind of acknowledging the Hart family. Yeah, they just that year they released the DVD. I still got the copy called "The Heart and Soul of the Hart Family." I will one day could probably do a coverage about it, not the matches, just basically the whole documentary about the Hart family, because the Hart family was on very bad terms with the company. Because of the Montreal Screwjob, and also the death of Owen Hart. There was a fan holding the sign says Owen Hart Hall of Fame 2011, because we're not going to see Owen getting inducted into the WWE Hall of Fame, because it's never going to happen because of Martha. It's got nothing to do with the Hart family. It has to do with Martha. That's another story for another time. But anyway, so this match is just too long. I wish they just did a no holds barred match. It would be a fun brawl for Brett. Brett was we haven't wrestled for a decade, in WCW. He got injured at Starrcade '99 against Goldberg with the super kick, and then all of a sudden he continued to continue matches after that. He retired due to concussions, and then a few years later he had the stroke. Yeah, Brett had one more match, actually two more matches after this, after his match against Vince, I think, later on in the year, he ended up, challenging against The Miz. He fought against The Miz for the United States title on Raw. He went on to win the United States Championship against The Miz on Raw, won his final championship in his career, and then his final ever match was, he was part of the Team WWE Team Nexus at that year's SummerSlam. I'll probably do a remake of this review probably in the summertime. So yeah, I think Brett's return, not perfect. It's not perfectly, but it's an okay run. It's the last run towards the sunset, and that was it. Before I move on to the next match, I need to one second. Anyway, I have to plug in my laptop. It's nearly out of juice. So anyway, let's move on to the next match. So the next match, this is for the World Heavyweight Championship. Chris Jericho defending the World Heavyweight title against Edge. It started in the summertime of the previous year. Edge and Jericho were the unified tag team champions. They won the belts at the Bash in July, and then the following week, Edge got hurt, injured his Achilles tendon. So, Jericho chose the Big Show as his tag team replacement for Edge. They formed Jericho, and the rest is history. And then at the Slammy Awards in the end of the year, he kind of thank Edge and brag about his injury-prone frailty. It's kind of like Jericho was kind of true, because Jericho never had a layoff. He never had a massive layoff in his career. Never had a proper injury in his career compared to Edge. Edge had he had the neck injury, injured his arm, injured his tricep. In his when he came back as a wrestler a couple of years back, in his feud against Randy Orton. It's just in this build up to this, he injured his Achilles tendon. You kind of thank Edge for being injured. And here's done my research on this. The research I done my research on this, but the original plan, it was supposed to be Edge and Jericho at WrestleMania. They were tag team. They're going to be tag team champions, and then they're going to have a friction. They end up breaking up as a tag team, set up this match on this show, and then, like I said, Edge got hurt. Jericho came along, rest is history. So fast forward in January, Edge won the 2010 Royal Rumble match. It was a surprise win for Edge. I think it was like him and Cena. I think Cena's and Edge's surprise returns was big at the time, because we don't know how long the injury is gonna last. With Achilles tendon, he could be out for a whole year, but he was out until, was it July, August, September, October, November, December, January. It's about 7 months. And then fast forward in February. Jericho won the World Heavyweight Championship in the SmackDown Elimination Chamber match, by the help by Shawn Michaels. We'll get to more of that later on in this review. So, anyway, the build up to this, he had Edge attack Jericho with the spear, and then in Jericho's rebuttal, he kind of attacked Edge with his injured Achilles tendon heel, something like that. This match, I think the match was good. I really enjoyed this match. Very underrated. I'm gonna say underrated. When I get to my overall thoughts of the show in the end. But wow, it is completely underrated for what it is, man. One more of the match, Jericho was going for the Lion Tamer, not Lion Tamer, the Lion Moonsault. Edge counted into the Edge-O-Matic. I think he did the Edge-O-Matic or the face buster off the top rope. I kind of like it now. They're going for the Achilles tendon, the Achilles heel, I'm trying to say. Jericho never attacked the Achilles heel, the Achilles tendon. The Achilles. I'm trying to say. I'm going to call it Achilles. Otherwise, it's going to get confusing. But anyway, he was going for the Achilles, but instead he kind of locked in with the Walls of Jericho. He kind of locked in with the Boston Leg Crab. That doesn't really apply for the Achilles tendon. It kind of like worked. It kind of only worked. It only aimed for the lower back and the upper legs, but not for the lower portion of the leg. He did kind of attack the Achilles heel, the Achilles, stamping on Edge's leg. There's one more than that. Jericho was going to hit Edge with his own finisher with the spear. He's trying to hit the Edge with the spear, but Edge hit Jericho with the big boots. Edge didn't really hit Jericho with a single spear in this match. That's very odd. He hit Jericho with the Edge-O-Matic, the execution, but not the spear. Edge kicked out of the codebreaker attempt. I think it was the first codebreaker attempt. There was a referee bump. Jericho hit Edge with a world title belt. And then he hit the final blow with the second codebreaker attempt for the win. It makes sense because Jericho just won the belt at Elimination Chamber. It makes no sense of him dropping the belt at WrestleMania. I forgot to mention this is Jericho's first championship match at a WrestleMania for 8 years. He was the undisputed champion at WrestleMania 18 going into his match against Triple H. He was the undisputed WWF champion. Sorry, I'm trying to get my words out. He entered this match as the undisputed champion at Mania 18, and then fast forward 8 years later, he's going in as the world heavyweight champion. Afterwards, he was trying to re-injure Edge, trying to go for more trying to attack his Achilles heel, Achilles tendon. He's trying to go for the leg, but Edge stopped him. Edge hit like a spear. He kind of speared Jericho onto 2 announce tables and threw the timekeeper to get his heat back. And that was it. I think if Edge wins this title on this show, I think it's a bit redundant because Edge has been champion multiple times since 2006. I think for once, you had Edge chasing after the belt. So let's fast forward on SmackDown. SmackDown, you had Edge attack Jericho, leading up to Jack Swagger cashing his Money in the Bank briefcase after he won the Money in the Bank ladder match at WrestleMania 26. It Jericho with the Gun Wrench Powerbomb for the win. I think it's a pay homage of Edge because Edge for years, he's known for the ultimate opportunist. He kind of cashed in on people when they were champions when they got beaten down. With the Undertaker and John Cena, and then 2 years prior, he got attacked by Batista, allowed Punk cashing the briefcase on him on Raw in June of 2008. I think it was the Raw after Night of Champions, I think. Leading up to Punk and Batista at the Great American Bash, and then 2 years later after that, Edge repaying his favors and allowing, after he's the one who attacked Jericho, who was the champion, allow the Money in the Bank holder to cash in the briefcase. They had a triple threat match on SmackDown, Swagger, Jericho, and Edge, and then they had the blow off of the rivalry at Extreme Rules the following month, and that was it. They never fought ever again because Edge retired the following year. And it's funny, things changed because Edge and Jericho are now currently now in AEW. They could probably do one more match down the road because I think time's running out because Jericho's in his mid-50s or pushing mid-50s. Edge, who's soon to be 50, I think they need to do another match quick. So besides that, I think it was a really good match. Not a match of the night, but I think it was the second, third, fourth best match of the show. Anyway, I'm going to keep it short and simple of the next match. So the next match, we've got the 10-man Divas Tag Team match. We've got Lay Cool. Michelle McCool at the time was the women's champion. We've got Alicia Fox. You got Maurice, who's the Divas champion at the time. And Vicky Guerrero taking on Beth Phoenix, Eve Torres, Gail Kim, Kelly Kelly, Mickie James, This is Gail Kim's. I think this was Gail Kim's one and only, or I think it's her one and only WrestleMania match, because she ended up leaving the company next year. Ended up going back to TNA. Anyway, so keep it short and simple. It's a piss break, a glorified piss break. Everyone had hit their finishers. Like Michelle McCool, who's I think at the time was dating the Undertaker, soon to be married to the Undertaker. Hit Kelly with the Faith Breaker. That's the Angel Wings / the Style Clash. Everyone hit their finishers. Vicky hit the Frog Splash. I think Michael Cole called it the Hog Splash onto Kelly, and Vicky kind of fucked up the pin onto Kelly. She kind of rolled up too high because Kelly's shoulder was up. It means to go down. But anyway, so she did like mini splashes onto Kelly's stomach for the win. That was it. Piss break match. Moving on. I wish, it was only 3 minutes long. I wish they changed 3 minutes long. Brett and Vince got about 11 minutes long. Anyway, let's move on to the next match. So the next match, this is for the WWE Championship. Batista defending the belt against John Cena. It happened at the, it actually started before the Elimination Chamber pay-per-view the previous month. It started at SummerSlam of 2008, John Cena and Batista were tag team champions, being priceless for the belts. And then fast forward to SummerSlam. They had the match at SummerSlam. On that same match, Cena injured his neck by Batista. Hitting. Cena trying to hit the leg drop off the top rope. Batista countered into some kind of I think it was a spine buster or something like that, or a power bomb. Cena injured his neck in the process. Fast forward 2 years later at Elimination Chamber, Cena regained the WWE Championship when he lost it to Sheamus at the December pay-per-view of 2009 TLC, and then 3 months later at Elimination Chamber, 2 months later at Elimination Chamber in February of 2010, he regained the WWE Championship. In the Raw Elimination Chamber match, he made Triple H tap out with the SDF. Then you got Vince came out saying you're going to defend the title. Batista came out, hit Cena with a spear and the Batista bomb to win the WWE Championship for the one and only time, because he was, over the years, he was in the world title picture, the big gold belt. Him winning the world title was I think it was just kind of good. But sometimes, I think it was good to see Batista winning the main championship of the company. The world title at the time is a secondary title compared to the main title is the WWE Championship. So anyway, so I think this was the right call to do this rivalry between John Cena and Batista. They both came to OVW. They debuted in 2002. Batista came in. He came in as the Reverend of Devon. Cena came out as the Ruthless Aggression Cena, and he transformed into the rapper Cena, then the Marine Cena. Now he's Super Cena. And then they won their first world titles at WrestleMania 21. Batista blames Cena because he's supposed to be the face of the company. It's funny, he said about the torch, the flames of the torch passed on to Stone Cold Steve Austin to you. It should be me. Cena says you do it for money, I do it for them, for the people, something like that. I'm trying to, this match, this is an underrated gem. Very underrated, man. It's just big power moves, Batista, going for trying to work the neck of John Cena, they do the same spot what they did at SummerSlam in 2008, but this time was a bit safer. I think Cena kicked out with the Batista bomb. There's one, Batista hits Cena with a sick DDT, man. I can't tell it's botchy, but it looks sick. He just hit the sickest DDT you ever seen wrestling. And one more, and also moments of the match, Cena kind of grabbed Batista. I think he was going for the Batista bomb, but Cena countered it into a position of the running power slam, but he turned it into the AA, hit the sickest AA onto Batista, but he kicked out. I think Batista counted Cena's 5 knuckle attempts. You know, he did it the first time in the ring, but he counted into the Batista bomb or the spine buster. But I think Cena did it off the top rope. That was cool to see. Trying to keep it short and simple, you know. I think in the end, Batista was going for one more Batista bomb, but I think Cena counted into a sun flip powerbomb. But instead, he kind of is in the position of the sun flip powerbomb, but instead he kind of counted into a he kind of counted into a sun flip powerbomb, but he managed to transform it into the STF. That was really cool. Batista did the weakest tap. It's the same what Vince did on the show against Bret Hart, you know. But this was just like him tapping out, you know. Batista tap out very weak, you know. I think that was a bit weak, you know. Cena got heat, you know. It didn't go, let's go Cena sucks chance, but it's just like Cena suck, you know. You got fans, there were a lot of fans with signs saying Cena sucks, you know. I think the last time Cena got heat going into a WrestleMania until his match against Shawn Michaels at WrestleMania 23, 3 years earlier. But this, for this, it's just like, I think things have changed. I don't want to get, because at the time people still hate Cena. It's just what it is, man. But I wish they, I wish they find a different way to make Batista look stronger instead of doing that weak tapping out. Not in the same tapping out when Triple H tapped out with the triple crossface at Mania 20. But I think it was redundant that Cena's going to win. I think it's more like been there, done that, you know. Because he just lost the title. I get it, he lost the title to Sheamus at TLC in 2009. 2 months later, Elimination Chamber won the belt back. And then he lost the belt on the same night to the Batista. And then 1 month later, he's won the belt back against Batista, you know. I think, what's the point having Cena losing the belt at the Chamber pay-per-view? Why could just retain the title on the show? But it's just, I think Batista was soon to be heading out of the company, you know. They continued their rivalry going into the springtime of 2010. You know, they had the last man standing match at Extreme Rules. You know, you had the fans shouted at Batista, "I hate you, Batista," and Batista says, "I hate you too." You had the infamous duct tape spot when Cena tied up Batista's legs with duct tape. Then you got the I Quit match, and then Batista quit the company. You won't see Batista again for 4 years. I don't think he'll end up be part of the feud with Nexus. You know, I think he ended up pursuing a career in movies. Came back in 2014. That's another story for another time. But yeah, I think it's the second, third, fourth. I think it's the second, fourth best match of the night. So let's move on to the next match. So the next match, this is no DQ, streak versus career match. You know, Undertaker versus Shawn Michaels. Yeah, if Shawn Michaels wins, he ended the streak. If he loses, his career must be over. So it happened at WrestleMania 25. You know, they had the match. You know, one of the best matches in WrestleMania history. Shawn Michaels, The Undertaker. I think Shawn said that one move kind of cost him. He did like a move. I think it was a springboard move, and Taker kind of catched him into the Tombstone Piledriver. That was the spot when, you know, they kind of fuck up the diving spot by The Undertaker. That was Sin Snooker's fault. But anyway, so fast forward in 2010, you know, at the Slammy Awards, you know, Shawn kind of challenged Undertaker for one more match at WrestleMania. Undertaker kind of declined the whole idea to do a rematch. So Shawn make it an obsession to end the Undertaker's undefeated streak. Like, he's trying to win the Royal Rumble match to have a shot at the world title at WrestleMania. Unfortunately, he got eliminated in that Royal Rumble match, you know. And then fast forward in February time, Shawn cost the Undertaker the World Heavyweight Championship in the SmackDown Elimination Chamber match. Chris Jericho won that Chamber match and go on to face Edge at WrestleMania 26. So anyway, Shawn ended up costing himself the tag team titles on Raw. You know, they were tag team champions with Triple H, with DX. You know, to break up DX for one final time as on-screen competitors. So Shawn like kind of begged Undertaker for one more match. Taker like says, I agree. This time you gotta put your career on the line. This match, it's very debatable which one's better, the match at 25 or the match at 26. It's vice versa. But this match is really good. There's too much to talk about this to cover it, but it's really good. I think on one more of the match, Taker hit Shawn with the old school, but instead injured his knee in the process. Shawn working the injured leg of the Undertaker. Locking Undertaker with the figure 4 leg lock, shades of Ric Flair. He locked him with the ankle lock. It's a shades of Kurt Angle. Because they had that WrestleMania Classic at WrestleMania 21. That was good shades. Because at the time they didn't mention Kurt Angle, because I think Angle left on very bad terms in the company, because he was at TNA at the time. But so it was really good. I feel like one more of the match, Taker kind of rammed Shawn into the ring post. They bring up Shawn Michaels' back injury from 1998. And I think they kind of done a botch. Says it cost Shawn 5 years of his career. No. 4 years of his career. Came back in 2002. But anyway, so one more of the match, Shawn did like a springboard dive, but Undertaker catched him into the tombstone power. He kind of tombstone power drive Taker onto the floor. But I like the and also he did the moonsault. He did the moonsault he done a moonsault onto the announce table. I think like Taker was going for the last ride. Shawn counted into the swing to music, put Taker onto the announce table, hit the moonsault. He kind of instead of landing into the stomach area, he kind of like it's towards his legs, and Undertaker's selling like his leg got broken, For Shawn in his age, I think Angle said in his interview that, or his podcast says, when you reach 45 in wrestling, that was a beginning of the end. But Shawn was 40. I think he was 45 or 44 at the time, pushing 45. He was in his early to mid 40s at the time. To still pull off a good moonsault, that was still good. I think he kicked out of the he kicked out of the I think it was a tombstone power driver. I think he kicked out of the last ride. Taker kicked out of the first switching music attempt. He did the diving elbow off the top rope instead of the stomach area or the chest area of the Undertaker right on his injured leg. When Shawn hit this switching music for the second time, you thought the commentators made a good job making believe in that Shawn could be the one to break the Undertaker's streak. Get the people off the edge of the seat. That was good. Get the fans getting at the edge of the seat, foreign that the streak's going to end. People don't want to see that. What people don't want to see Shawn's career to come to an end. People don't want to see Undertaker's streak come to an end. But Shawn hit the switching music onto the Undertaker for the second time, kicked out. In the end, you had Taker. I think Undertaker did injure his knee. It's not like probably tweak his knee in the process, but when he hit that old school. But anyway, so Shawn, Taker kind of open. He kind of ripped he kind of pulled down his straps of his singlet. Tell Shawn to stay down. Shawn give Undertaker the throat slashing gesture. He did it in the start of this match. He did it in the end portion of the match. Slapped him. He slapped the Undertaker in the face. Taker hit the second tombstone power driver. That is the final blow. Taker wins. Undertaker went 18-0 at WrestleMania, and Shawn Michaels' career came to an end. And then afterwards, Taker kind of pick up Shawn onto his feet. They both hug it out, and he laughed. Shawn, the fans chanted, "Thank you, Shawn!" Shaking hands with the fans. He kind of laid down on his knees, did the Messiah thing, the Messiah bow, and that was it. That was the end of Shawn Michaels' career. End of his second run in the company. His first run was about 1989. Was it 88, 89 to 1998? His second run of the company was about 2002 to 2010. I think in the DVD uh, DVD of WrestleMania 26, they had the backstage segments of like Shawn hugging out with Vince. Vince was got emotional. Triple H got emotional. Because you thought like this is it for Shawn. That was the end of his career. But this is Shawn Michaels' final match until 2018. The match in Crown Jewel. That was a redundant rivalry between DX and the Brothers of Destruction. Like, I don't want to get into the whole Crown Jewel stuff, I might review it down the road, but not right now. But I think that kind of tarnished this moment at WrestleMania 26. That was one of the biggest moments, and biggest matches. It's funny, like, you thought Shawn's retirement sticks, but it wasn't sticking. Like, you thought this is the man who retired Ric Flair at WrestleMania 24, and it's funny, like 2 years later, he's wrestling in TNA. And now, yeah, it was 8 years later, but it's just proven like nothing sticks in wrestling. When wrestlers retire, they never stay retired. So it's just like kind of like tarnishing the moment. But I get it, understand. I think that Shawn got like $1 million to compete in that match in Saudi Arabia. But it's a bit, it's just, I don't want to get into it, but this. I really like this match. I like this match. I think it's got to be one of the best, probably one of the top 5, it's got to be in the top 3, top 5 best main event matches of all time at WrestleMania. Like Austin Rock Mania 17. For me, the tag team match of Mania 40. Rock and Roman against Cody and Seth, and you could say the two Roman and Cody matches at 40 and 39. It's a bit debatable, but like leave your thoughts in the comment section below. Which one's the best Mania? Of the two Undertaker Shawn Michaels matches at WrestleMania, their match at Mania 25 or their match at Mania 26. So yeah. So my overall rating of WrestleMania 26, I'm gonna give it a 8.5 out of 10. One word, underrated. This is a underrated WrestleMania. Not a lot to talk about with Mania 26. If you say the word Mania 26, you probably say Undertaker versus Shawn Michaels 2. But besides that, like I said, underrated. The only 3 matches in the band for me is the 10 Divas tag team match. That is just a piss break match. Vince versus Brett. It was barely a no holds barred match. The lumberjack match with all the Hart family around the ring did not help, and it went too long. And also seeing Brett, beating down Vince for 11 minutes, it was boring. Yeah, it's like Brett kind of scratched that 13-year itch and really give Brett some closure. And the opener, the tag team title match, I don't say it was terrible, but it's basically blink and then you miss it. The matches in the OK, actually there was one match in the OK, has to be the Legacy Triple Threat match. OK match, it's totally against the story when Rose and DiBiase kind of fight. It was kind of the officially end of Legacy as we know it, so drink it in. But besides that, it was an okay match. But the good is the good. They are good to great matches. The 2 World Title matches deliver. Enjoy Ray versus Punk. Enjoy Triple H versus Sheamus. The Money in the Bank ladder match was fun. I think, the match of the night has to be Undertaker versus Shawn Michaels, man. Go and check it out, man. I advise you watch WrestleMania 26, it's a fun WrestleMania. It's probably, if I put this WrestleMania, I put it in not a mid-table, I put it like around 11 or 12. Like I said, it's just an underrated WrestleMania. What is your thoughts on WrestleMania 26? Do you like the show? Do you hate the show? Do you don't mind about the show? please leave your thoughts on the comment section below. Smash the like button, click the like, click the bell. Subscribe to the Central Man Network on YouTube. Be part of the Central Unit for more wrestling videos and more. Next time, I said WrestleMania 26 is the last classic WrestleMania show I review on this channel for the month of April. It got me thinking, I'm going to review one more classic WrestleMania before the month is out. And the second place on that voting poll, I'm going to review. Because this month marks the 10-year anniversary of this WrestleMania. You have Daniel Bryan overcoming the Authority. And also on that same night, the legendary streak of The Undertaker dies in Louisiana. And also it's the first WrestleMania since the launch of the WWE Network. You know what I'm talking about. The next classic WrestleMania I'm going to review is WrestleMania 30. Until then, this is the Central Man officially signing out. Check you later. And that's my review of WrestleMania 26. I give it thumbs up.